Hey, how you doing? And welcome to our mini training today. I'm just going to check on Facebook that we are live. There we go. And give me a say hello in the chat if you can hear me and everything's working all right at your end. And I'll just see whether I can see comments. Hi Jeanette, morning, how you doing? And can you believe it's Wednesday already? Right, I don't know what's happened with time this year. It's kind of gone really, it's going really, really fast. Give me a wave or a hi in the chat if you can hear me. As you know, if you've not been on any of my sessions before, my sessions are super interactive. Morning, Ruth. You all right? Hi, Susan. It's lovely to see you. Well, in this capacity. It's nice to hang out with you again. Hi, Lorraine. Yeah, if you've been on any of my sessions before, if you've been in the challenge, then you'll know that it's really informal, it's really interactive, so please do get involved in the chat. It is not a sit and listen kind of deal. Yeah, as with anything in life, the more you put in, the more you get out. And I've found certainly when it comes to anything to do with learning, when it comes to anything to do with training or development, the more you get involved, the more likely you are at remembering and retaining it and implementing it. Hi Louise, you've swapped to your laptop. Morning Kerry, how's it going? All lovely, lovely. I'm so pleased that you've all come and hanging out with me this morning. So we are going to do some mini training. And this has come about because over the past few weeks, few months, I have been having a lot of conversations with business owners, and I've seen the same things popping up time and time and time again. So I thought, right, we will cover it all in a mini training. And I've called it, really imaginative title, 10 Ways I See Business Owners Hindering Their Own Success. So this list is not exhausted. I could have written a bit more, but you've got to stop it somewhere, and 10's a decent enough number. But the way it's going to work, I've got a whole load of notes here. I'm going to work my way through my list, but by all means, get involved in the chat. So let me know where you're at, what your experiences are, which morning Nikki, how are you doing? Which number resonates with you most? And yeah, let's dig a bit deeper into anything that you need to. And if you've got any questions, by all means, that's what I'm here for. But just ask away, and we'll keep it really light and informal. So I have got my cuppa, as always. Who's got a cuppa and a pen and paper? Who's on tea and coffee this morning? Tea or coffee? You could be on both. I got made a I don't know what you'd call it. It was a mixture between tea and coffee the other day by mistake by my 20-year-old son, who got distracted. And I have to say, it wasn't nice. It wasn't good. So, not doing that again. Right, fab. Always. We've got me too, a cup of tea. We're all settled then. We're all comfy. Okie doke. Right, 10 ways that I see business owners hindering their success. Number one, and you will have absolutely heard me say this before, and I am not apologising for this because it is so important, and this is where I see so many people falling down, is not being specific with their goals. Now, if you came on the challenge, you will know that this is a big thing for me, and we do this very early doors in the challenge. However, it's not something that we do once. Hiya, Heather. It's not something you do once and then that's it. It's something that you need to continuously do on a regular basis. And this is about being super specific with your goals. So here's what I mean. Quite often I see people saying, oh, I want more clients. I want to earn more money. Or I want something, I want something different. I want something new. I want more success. Yeah. And it tells me absolutely nothing. And if it tells me nothing, it will tell you nothing as well. And it's telling your brain nothing. So your brain is no wiser. Your brain doesn't know any better than it did 5 minutes ago. And what is more anyway? Yeah, because £1 is more money, right? £1 is more money. But chances are, if I gave you an extra pound this month, that wouldn't still hit it wouldn't meet your revenue targets. But yeah, it is more. And if I gave you one more client, yes, it might do it, but it might not. It might still not be enough for you. So it's important to be super specific. And the way to do this is to pick a period of time. I go for 6 months because it's a nice chunk of time. Pick 6 months in advance and think about what it is that you want to achieve in that 6 months, and be really, really specific. And then come back closer to home and think, okay, so what do I want to do this month? What do I specifically want to achieve this month? And again, like I said before, be super specific. So in this month, I want to have earned X amount of money. In this month, I want so many sales. In this month, I want so many new customers. And the customers, when you say so many new customers, it's not just a because that sounds good and stick a finger in the air kind of deal. It's because you've actually done the numbers and you know how many numbers actually equate to what you want in terms of cash, right? In terms of money in the bank. So what is it that, how many customers will actually give you and allow you to meet your revenue target? So in this month, I want to achieve and complete a certain project. In this month, I want to do whatever it is. So be really, really specific. Now, I prefer to work in months just because it suits me and it suits the way that I work and it suits my brain. However, if you prefer to work in longer sprints, if you like, so you can do quarterly, you can do 90 days, you know, it's entirely up to you what timescale you choose, providing it's literally putting a stake in the sand, a flag in the sand, and saying, right, this is what I'm working towards. This is what I want to achieve by this date, and this is what I'm going to do to get it. Does that make sense to everybody? Would you say that you are super specific with your goals? Because once, and let me know in the chat if you feel as though you're doing this, or you've still got a way to go. It might be that today's job becomes revisiting your goals and you and making them even more specific and really drilling down into what it is that you want to achieve. Because your brain loves a goal. It's literally like putting a postcode into a sat nav or a GPS. It is that good. You know, your brain will go, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I know where I'm going. I know what's going on. Let's go do it. And it'll make it so much easier, and you will start seeing results rather than just being a bit more scattergun in terms of your approach. Yeah, Lorraine, go back and revisit them. And like I said, this is something that I do personally on a regular basis. For those guys in the academy, I think there's only Louise in here at the minute that's joined us live. But yeah, we talk about specific goals because it is so important to really nail down exactly where it is that you are going. Brilliant, Susan. Get more precise. The more specific that you can get, the better. And now, I just want to also say that this doesn't mean that it's set in stone. It doesn't mean it's set in stone, because so many people say to me, oh, no, but what if something changes? What if I change my mind? What if life happens? What if I get this amazing opportunity? Then, yeah, who cares? Then change your goal. It doesn't mean that it is all of a sudden carved in stone and you have got no choice but to keep going there. You know, if I had £1 for every time that I decided I wanted to do something different because I got a different opportunity, because I got a different idea, then, you know, you're allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to change your mind, and your goals are allowed to shift. They are allowed to be tweaked. They are allowed to move, but they do need to be specific. So like I said, I am not apologising for really drilling that home, because this is a starting point. If you have no idea where you are going, how on earth will you know when you get there? Or how will you know what you need to do in order to get there? Louise, you're saying I need to refocus on goals as overstretched in other areas and need to focus on my coaching. Brilliant insight. Fantastic. Okay, right. Fab. So now we are more specific in our goals. Let's go to point number 2. And this is again something that I see a lot, which is not being consistent with anything, just not being consistent. Now, the area that I see this popping up most is in terms of visibility, as in being posting on social media, posting any kind of marketing, doing things like lives or videos or anything like that. So inconsistency is the point for number 2. So who feels as though they struggle with being consistent? Give me a yes in the chat if you feel as though this is you. And to be honest, I hear you. Yeah, this is me for the longest time. Who struggles with being consistent? And it's such a, yeah, we've got yeses. It's such a common problem, especially as business owners, right? Because we like to do all the things. We get good ideas. We are creative and innovative, and all this awesome stuff keeps pinging on in our brains. And quite often the reason we chose to be business owners is because we want freedom, right? We want freedom to be able to do what we want when we want it. And consistency can often feel like a bit of a straitjacket, if you like. It can feel like, oh, crikey, I've got to do this at a certain time every day. And what if I don't want to? And what if I do, I want to do other things? It can feel really constrained. Let me just have a look in the chat. Nikki, I hear you. Yes, although the more you do it, the easier it gets. Totally. And this is all about habit forming, isn't it? Now, I was doing a session in a group last week, and we talked about consistency because it does pop up a lot. And quite often when we think about doing something consistently, in our brain, we think, crikey, I've got to do this forever. Oh, crikey. So if I posted it, I've literally got to post every day forever. And once you start thinking like that, all of a sudden, forever can feel like a long time, right? And you think, I'm not going to do it forever. I don't want to do it forever. And you might start to rebel a little bit and get a bit, regress a little bit and say, I don't want to do it forever. I don't like that idea of doing something forever. But there's a story that I heard a while back now, and I can't even tell you where I heard it. But the story's all about, does one coin make you rich? Right. So I'm sorry, I don't know who said this story or where it came from, but I'm going to share it with you. If you know where it came from, then let me know. The story is, does one coin make you rich? So one guy says to another, does one coin make you rich? And the other guy says, well, no. And this is, well, okay, I'll give you one coin. And I'm going to give you another coin. And I'm going to give you another coin. And he keeps giving one coin after another until eventually one coin makes the other person rich. Now, I appreciate in this example, it depends on how you define being rich and all the rest of it. But what we're saying is that one coin would make you rich. And this is exactly the same about consistency, right? About showing up and being consistent every single day in terms of your marketing, because you're not doing it forever. You're only doing it once. You're literally doing it once. So you're doing it that one day. And this is if we're just posting once a day. So let's say we just agree that we're posting once a day. All you're doing is posting that once on that one day. So you don't think about forever. You just think once, just like that one coin. And then the next day, I'm just going to post one more time. Once today, that's it. And seriously, if you'd have said to me, you're only just going to have one cup of tea that day, one day, I'd be like, hang on a minute, I want loads of tea. Because one doesn't seem a lot, does it? One's not a lot. So posting once takes 5 minutes. It's not a big stretch of time. It's not a massive commitment. It's just once. So rather than think, crikey, I'm going to do this forever, I'm doing it consistently forever, you're actually only doing it once that day. Just once in the day. And it makes it so much easier. And as Kerry's just quite rightly said, the more you do something, the easier it becomes, because we're looking for that habit. We're looking for you to create a habit. And we're also, the benefit of doing it consistently is that you are creating that snowball effect. You are getting that momentum, which is so, so powerful. And one of the things that I see a lot are people that go, oh, they do them a lot of marketing when they're quiet, and then when they get busy, they don't do it. And then when they get quiet, they do it again. But all that results in this is the feast and famine kind of cycle. But if you are consistent across the board, then you are going to create that snowball effect. And yeah, at the beginning, you're not going to get as much reach, you might not get as much engagement, nothing might come of it. And then slowly over time, it starts to build up. And that's where the magic is. That's where you're going to start seeing the results. And plus, you're going to get so much more confident. It's going to be so much easier. You're going to not think about it as much. And it just becomes part of your everyday life. Now, this is tricky to do because you are battling with habits, right? And your brain is going to resist it. Your brain's going to resist it. It's going to go, oh, I want to. Or you'll leave it to the last minute and then you'll think, I haven't got anything to talk about. I haven't got anything to say. What do I say? What do I do? Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And then before you know it, a few days, a few weeks has passed and you're having to start again. And that's when you start to get into this start-stop routine. Anyone relate to any of this? Let me know in the chat whether this was you. So if you are in this place, I want you to focus on just one day at a time. Just one day at a time. And just keep showing up. One day at a time and just keep showing up. Fab. Okay, so are you committing then, you guys that have said yes, to showing up every day? Or as regular as you want to. Obviously, it doesn't have to be every day. That is entirely up to you and your business. But let's have a commitment here, right now, that you are gonna decide what consistent means for you, and you are gonna show up. You're gonna break this habit. Awesome. Right, you ready for number 3? And I spoke about this morning actually over on my business page, and that is a morning routine. Now, I'm sure if you know me at all, you'll know that if I say morning routine, you're like, well, crikey, seriously, does she even know what a morning looks like? Has she ever seen like the first 8 o'clock in a day? And you would probably be almost there. Good, committed all round. So, but the thing is that a morning routine is so important. This is really, really important because this is where for most of us, our brain is at its best, right? Now, I'm not a morning person. I'm very much a night owl, so I'm going to kind of fly a flag for all night owls everywhere. But that doesn't mean to say, even though I'm a night owl, that I can't have a morning routine. It is just as important as for those amazing morning people that spring out of bed and, you know, with the dawn chorus and they're like, ha, I'm off and running. And I'm so envious of those people where I'm like slipping out of bed, dragging myself out, and trying to get moving every single day. So if you are a natural morning person, amazing. But if you are like me and you are a bit of a night owl, it still doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a morning routine. Because it is so important, because this is the time of day that is like, it's just pure gold. It is your time to reset your mindset, to kind of just consciously put yourself into the right frame of mind for the rest of the day. So, and something that I see a lot is where people, first of all, they'll look for the phone, they'll open their eyes and then they'll look for the phone and they'll kind of look at the phone like this before they get out of bed. Or they might be straight on the news before they've even got sat up in bed. They might be answering emails, they might be on social media. What they think is going to happen in social media, they can't wait until you've had a cup of tea and got dressed. I don't know. And I used to be like that too. So I am coming from a place of knowing. So it's so important that we use this time, that we're really selfish with our time in the morning, and that we use this time to get ourselves in the right frame of mind and to create the mindset for an amazing day, rather than for a day of, oh God, it's Wednesday, oh, I've got this to do and that to do, and I've got to get the kids sorted, and I've got to get breakfast ready, and it's another day on my treadmill. Yeah, you want to be getting yourself into that mode of, actually, I'm in control, I know exactly what I'm doing, and this is how I want to do my day today. This is how I'm being the CEO of my day today. Yeah? Now, this has to suit you and your family. And I'm really quite funny about that, because, as you know, when I started my business, I had 4 little kids running around. And I know what it's like to juggle. It's so much easier now, because I literally have a 12-year-old that is going through that teenage phase, and she doesn't even know who I am anymore, and a 20-year-old who does what he wants. So, he's just home from uni, so it's just another bed for him. So it's so much easier, but it wasn't always like that. I do know what it's like to juggle and to have to get up and sort everything else out. So your morning routine has to be something that works for you and your family. And it also has to fit in with your natural energetic state. So for you night owls, like me and Jeanette, you can create your morning routine. It doesn't have to be like 5:30 in the morning. It can be later on. And you can create it to suit you. It has to suit you. It has to suit your family. And it doesn't have to copy anybody else. You don't have to look at Richard Branson's morning routine and think, right, if I want to be super successful, I have to adopt that. You have to adopt something that absolutely works for you, and take tried and tested methods and just kind of tweak them into something that's absolutely right for you. And my morning routine has absolutely adapted and evolved over the years as my family has changed and grown, and my circumstances has changed in terms of obviously now working from home all the time. And it's okay to adapt it, but give it some thought into what's right for you and how you want to kickstart your day, so that you're getting the best of your brain power. Because one thing I see a lot of is amazing morning people who have got that brilliant brain power, that their brain is pinged on, ready for action, and then they go do something like do their emails or scroll on social media, and they're wasting all of that awesome juice that they've got buzzing around their head, when they could be doing their big stuff right off the bat. For us night owls, that comes later in the day, so we kind of need to struggle into our day a little bit. So think about what is best for you in terms of your natural energetic state, but also think about how you want to start your day. What do you want to do? What tasks do you want to do in the morning that will get you off to the best start? Is that doing your yoga or going for a run? Is that just sitting down, having a nice cup of tea and watching like your garden wake up? Is that about doing some meditation and some journaling? Is it just, getting the kids ready and sorted out, and then having some time to sort yourself out? So think of what is best for you. Okay. Any questions on this so far, or anything that you want to know more about? Claire's saying, best bit of being your own boss is being able to structure your own day. Totally. Oh, so agree. If I compare like my life as a business owner to my corporate life, crikey, my morning's completely different, and I work so much better now as a result. So any questions, let me know, and we will move on to number 4. Right, so number 4 is spraying rather than focus. So here is what I mean. So there's a great saying that actually comes from my corporate days, funnily enough. And again, I don't know where it came from, but it's always stuck in my head, probably for the last 15 years. And it was, winners focus, losers spray. And at the time, I kind of didn't think anything of it, but certainly now, it really kind of resonates with me, because focus is so important. It goes back to what it is that you want to achieve in your goal, but it's about you thinking, what do I actually need to focus on? What job, what task, what thing on my to-do list, my vision board, my goal list do I want to focus on, so that I actually see it through to fruition, so I can complete something, so I can move that needle in my business. So what is it that I need to focus on? Because so often I see people spraying, so they'll do a bit of everything, or they'll have lots of ideas and lots of plates spinning on the go, but then nothing gets done. So they might always have these balls in the air, these plates spinning, and they've got all these amazing ideas and all things that they want to do and things that they're working on and dipping their toe in, but nothing's actually getting finished, nothing's getting, coming to conclusion and getting launched. So that means nothing's actually, there's no results. Yeah, there's no, you're not getting any results from all of this work that you're doing. So even though you might have all the ideas, and I'm with you, right? I love having all the ideas. I love that. I love that about working with business owners. We've got ideas aplenty, right? But you don't have to do it all. You just don't have to do it all. You can wait. You can wait and park an idea and think, I'm going to do this afterwards. I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. Because when you complete something, when you focus on something, that's where the magic is. If you want to actually see results in your business, and give me a yes or an emoji or feedback in the chat if you are ready to see results in your business. You want to see actual results in your business more than what you are getting now. Just let me know in the chat if that is you, while I drink my tea. Kerry, you're a sprayer. Give me a yes in the chat if you are ready to see results in your business. You want to see more results. You want to start seeing that needle moving. Okay, so we started, yes, we've got thumbs up. Right, okay, so if this is you and you are ready to start seeing results, then spraying isn't actually going to get you there. It's just not going to get you there. And it's a bit of tough love from me to you right now. It's just not. Because even though, as I think they're all women in the group now, online, I think now, but we tend to think we're really good at multitasking, right? I'm a massive believer that multitasking it's just a load of tosh. We're not built like that. And we're talking multitasking in our business. I'm not talking about the type of multitasking where you walk in the kitchen, you've got your tumble dryer running, you've got your dishwasher, you're making dinner, you're doing homework, that kind of multitasking we can do. I'm talking about the multitasking in our business where we've got lots of things going on, but in reality, we've just got a whole trail of unfinished tasks behind us. And we might have been super busy all day, but we've not actually achieved anything and got anything to conclusion. So if that is where you are, today, I want to just encourage you to focus, pick one thing. And I want you to start following my one big thing rule. Okay? Now, this is a rule that I invented because I was a sprayer, right? If we're going to use that term, we've just invented that now, right? This was exactly what I did. And so I created the one big thing rule where I just focus every day I got up and my to-do list was one thing. One thing. Yeah, it was just one thing. And that's what I did every single day. And you have other things to do, right? I'm a mum. I know that we have other things to do. At the minute, because of lockdown, we have all the dinners to cook. We never stop cooking. We have all the dishwashers in the world to fill and empty and fill and empty. Life still happens. So I appreciate you're not ever going to have just one thing to do. But in business, in your business, when you get up and you focus, you are just picking one thing to do that day that you are going to work on. And yes, you're going to have other things like day-to-day things, but in order to move that needle, in order for you to actually achieve anything, you're going to pick one thing, that one thing. And that's what you're going to focus on. And you're going to ramp up that dial on your focus. Stop spraying, do that, get it finished, get it out in the world, then you have my permission to move on to the next thing. Then you focus on that and you get that done and you get that into the world, and then you move on to the next thing. Any questions on this? Let me just go back to the chat. Ruth's saying, yes, now I am back to seeing people really want to implement a clear structure for my day and week. Brilliant. Wendy's going to stop spraying too. Fantastic. Lorraine, I tend to have loads of ideas, but definitely flit between them. Yeah. I've started to plan my posts for the next few weeks to try and keep them focused. Brilliant. Brilliant planning's amazing. Susan, love this. Fab. Susan, focusing my lives on one subject, so much easier than stops me from waffling. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when you're doing lives, it's all right to waffle sometimes, because people are seeing the real you, and if you think about if you met somebody like at a bus stop or a train station or just in a cafe or something, you wouldn't have planned what you're going to say to them. You know, you just talk, you know, just naturally. So I think sometimes the best lives are where you've got a little bit of an idea of what you want to cover, but in actual fact, you're all right just chatting and seeing what comes up. That's just my perspective, but you know, yeah, Rebecca, trying to do all the things at once, definitely. And you know, when you've got big goals as well, as we've already decided that we've all been super specific with our goals, think about what is actually going to get you closer to your goal. So focus on the right things, not on the wrong things. Kerry, I've got a notebook by my bed and I write 3 items on my to-do list for the next day. 99% of the time I get them all done because I love ticking them off. Amazing. So my question to you is, are all the 99, are all the 3 items, are those items tasks going to get you closer to your goal? So all of those small daily tasks, do they get you closer to your bigger goal of that you're aiming for? Right, so number 5 then, let's go on to number 5, is keep switching plans. So number 5 is to keep switching plans. And again, I see this a lot where we have an idea and we're galloping, doing our work, getting stuff done. And then we go, hang on a minute, I've got a better idea. Or somebody's already done that, so I can't do that. Or somebody else, this worked for somebody else, so I'm going to do this instead. And then you start going off in that direction. And you go over there, and then all of a sudden you go, hang on a minute, this isn't working. Or somebody else has had this idea, and this really worked for them. Or I figured out that I can't do this until I've done something else. So then you switch plans again, and then you go galloping off over there. And this is what I call being stuck in a loop. And I see this a lot, and I call it being stuck in a loop. Again, I'm really creative with my titles, have you noticed? My one big thing rule and my stuck in the loop. Yeah, maybe I should work on my titles. But I see this a lot where you would keep switching plans. So give me a yes in the chat if you feel as though this is you, that you keep switching direction or keep switching what you're working on. Claire, you just said, doing this with you during my academy times really helped me. Fantastic. Yeah, we really go into detail on this in the academy because this is the stuff that will make a difference. Wendy, having one goal each day is a great way to stay focused. Good. Claire, this used to be me. I was such a crazy pony, and now you are super focused and you are on a mission. And I just love watching that just come to fruition. So we've got yeses. Yes. Yeah. Okie doke. So what do we do about it? Again, we go back to what we've just said in terms of staying focused. But often what happens, the reason we are switching direction is usually it's a self-sabotage thing. It's a mindset thing. So something will maybe pop into your head and say, actually, you know, what will people think? And people will judge you, and you're not ready. It's not good enough. And you might have all sorts of fear pop into your head, like fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged or criticised, fear of failure. You might even have fear of success, where you think, actually, if this does do well, then You know, what will happen then? How will I cope? How will I manage? I'm not going to have any time. So all of these kind of things might pop into your head that stop you from finishing something off or getting something through the door. And so it causes you to switch directions. So if this is you, and I totally hear you, yeah, all of these, you know, I've done. If this is you, just before you switch directions, first of all, the first step is to always, like I said, and you've heard me say this before, is spot the block. Spot the block. So notice yourself switching directions, or notice yourself having the urge to switch directions and focus on something else, and just check in and see what the deal is there. You don't need to like go do a deep dive. You just need to kind of think, actually, that's a great idea, and I'm you know, I like what I want to do over here now, but I'm going to do that after I've done this. And push yourself to go back over here to what you were working on and get the job done. Get the job done, get it out into the world, and always look for that next small step. Because sometimes it can feel a bit scary when you're putting something out into the world, or you're finishing something, or you're showing somebody, you know, launching something to your work to the world. And you can feel quite vulnerable and like you're opening yourself up to any kind of judgment or criticism. And I totally hear you, I totally get that. But push yourself to actually getting the job done, because as we've already discussed, that's what's going to move the needle in your business. Switching direction is not the answer. It's like, so I live in Leeds, right? So my closest seaside is what, Scarborough, Whitby, somewhere like that, Scarborough. So it's like if we went, all right, I'm going to take, me and Dave and Rosie are going to go off to Scarborough for the day. So we'll get in the car, and then halfway there we go, hang on a minute, let's go to Blackpool instead. So then we turn around and we start driving over to the west coast, and then we go halfway there, we go, hang on a minute, let's say fancy a cream tea, let's go down to Cornwall and Dorset. Oh, so we turn around and we go down there. And pretty soon all we've done is like do circles in the middle of the country, and we've not actually gone anywhere. That is the same deal. It's exactly the same deal. Yeah, by switching continuously, you are not actually getting anywhere. You are just being busy. And being busy does not equal productive. It just means that you're busy, you know, and you're not actually getting anything done or making any kind of results in your business. So if this is you and you feel that urge, just encourage yourself to look for that next small step and keep going, keep focusing on that one thing. Okay, doke, any questions? We have Ruth saying light bulb moment, this is me with losing weight. Cool. Right, so I'm glad you're having those light bulb moments. Right, number 6. How are we doing for time? Yeah, number 6. Right, so this is super common. Super common. Yeah, loads of effort for no reward. That was me. Totally. And that's where, you know, the term busy fool comes from. Yeah, you can be busy and not actually achieve anything. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather be super focused and get the job done and start getting some reward, yeah, some return on my investment, rather than just being busy. I can think of other things to be busy just doing. Yes. So cool. Right, number 6 is don't say no enough. So this is where you are not saying no enough. Okay, give me a big yes in the chat if you are not saying no enough. And you know it, so deep down inside you are not saying no enough. Now, unfortunately, I learnt this lesson the hard way, and I think most of us do, but it comes back down to being super guarded with your time. And my golden rule now is if it doesn't get me closer to my goal, we've got lots of yeses. If it doesn't get me closer to my goal, if it's not something I have to do, right, and it's not something that I want to do, then it is a no. I will not do something that I feel guilty about doing. This is the thing. Now, I'll tell you my personal story if you're interested and you've still got some of your tea left in your cup. So when I first left corporate and I started my first business, I went from being like working in a massive open plan office with a team and all these people around me, to bustle, to working in my my home on my own, because everybody was out at school and at work and all the rest of it. And I got so lonely. I didn't even realize that that was going to be a problem for me, but I got really, really lonely. And so as a result, what I did is I started trying to fill that gap, that loneliness gap. And I started to join lots of different committees. So I remember there was 4 kids in our house. So I was on the figure skating committee. I was a school governor. I was on the school PTA. I could go on. There was a lot. I volunteered for, I think, the Prince's Trust at the time. Yeah, I could go on. There was a lot of things. I volunteered for a lot of things. And so my diary started to fill up with all these great volunteering meetings and things. So all of a sudden I wasn't lonely anymore. I wasn't making any money, but I was volunteering. And it got to a point where I actually got a client and they said, oh, when can we start work? And I looked at my diary, and I'm not even kidding you. I looked at my diary and I had no space, because what Dave had quite rightly started calling me was I was a full-time volunteer. And that was what I was doing. And I realised then that although I was filling a gap with to fix my loneliness problem, I'd also started saying yes to everything. I said yes to everything. If you needed, I don't know, raffle tickets sticking on your tombola prizes, yeah, I'd do it. If you needed buns baking, I can't even bake. I seriously wouldn't want to eat any of my baking. I'd do it. If you needed, if you were going on holiday and you needed your dog walking, I'd do it. Seriously, I was like your go-to person. I was doing everything for everybody all of the time. And I had a business to run, because it was just starting. It was just kicking off when I should have been doing all the things to grow my business. I was like, saying yes to all of the things. And the problem was that you only have so much time, and I was permanently knackered. I still had like 4 little kids, and I had my business that was growing, I was starting it, and I had 0 time at all. And one day I was thinking, how stupid am I? Seriously, what is going on? And it was kind of a bit of a light bulb moment when one day I was just knackered. I was knackered. I felt I was being pulled in all directions. I wasn't happy. I was kind of looking back to my corporate days of having structure and thinking, what have I done? I've made a massive mistake. And then all of a sudden I realised, I'm like, what are you doing, you daft bat? What on earth is going on in your head? Stop it right now. And I learned how to say no. And I learned how to say super fast. And I learned that if it does not go inside with my goal, if it doesn't get me close to my goal, if I do not want to do it, so obviously some things you like to do, and that's okay. If I do not have to do it, like taking the kids to school, you have to do some stuff, and that's all right. Then it's a no. It's an automatic no. I will never do anything just because I am guilted into doing something. So again, give me a yes in the chat if today you are committed to flipping that switch and stopping your no. And we're going to move on to number 7, which is about saying yes enough. But before we go on to that, I want a big commitment right now. Are you going to start saying no? Give me a yes in the chat if you are ready to start saying no. Cool. Yay. And I'm not saying it's easy. Everything that we're business owners, right? This is not an easy road. Otherwise, everybody would do it. So this is not an easy road, but it is essential. I'm going to just open this window. It's got boiling in here. So hot. Cool. Start saying no. So the rule is that if you don't want to do it, if it doesn't bring you joy, if you do not want to do it, if you do not have to do it, if it does not get you close to your goal, it's, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. Can't do that right now. Even cancel, Rebecca's saying, yes, even cancel membership to manipulative people over lockdown. Love it. Well done. Stand in your power, Rebecca. So we've got yeses, we've got yes, I'm committed, yes, 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 we switched, we flipped, guilt is horrible. It is. Nothing that I'm saying is easy, Jeanette. I wish it was. I'd love to just go, this is done. I can't do it. Sorry, but yes, it is something that needs to happen. Cool. Right, we're all still happy, we're all still going. We are on number 7, which is don't say yes enough. Now, this is something that I see a lot where amazing business owners, like all of you guys, are super talented and awesome people, and you've got so much potential. And then I see people that just don't say yes enough. And I was absolutely in that camp too, where you get you might get a great idea, you might get an amazing opportunity, you might get something might just cross your path, and you know that actually it would benefit you, it would benefit your business, it would benefit your audience. It's just actually, it might be scary, it might be out of your comfort zone, it might be something that you've never done before, it might be, all the resistance, all the things might be happening, and you just don't say yes. You think of an excuse, you think of something else instead. Oh, I'm too busy, oh, I haven't got the time, I haven't got the money, I've got too much going on, and all of that jazz going, might pop out of your mouth instead of saying yes. So who's with me? Who does this? Who doesn't say yes enough to stuff? And this might also, it might not be somebody else that you're saying yes to, it might be saying yes to things that you've thought of, that you know that you've got to do. Give me a yes, give me a yes in the chat if this is you. It certainly was me. But the thing is that all of this stuff that you're not saying yes to, this is where the magic is. So this is the stuff like, do you want to have a go at doing this speaking gig? And you think, what, are you kidding me? All of that might be happening in your head, but secretly deep down inside, actually, if you went and did it, yes, you might be scared out of your wits, but it's going to help you. So yes, 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 so true. I started getting better, but used to rule myself out. Totally. And me too, Claire. You're not on your own. We are all in it together. Totally relate. The thing is that this, like I said, this is where the magic is. By saying yes, instead of thinking of all the reasons why you can't do something, I want to encourage you and invite you to right now just say yes straight away. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yes, it's an amazing idea, and yes, this is going to be fantastic. And when I think back over the 10 years that I've been in business now, the things that have really leapt me forward, or the things that I've had most excitement or most joy with, or the things that I've got the most return out of, have been the things that have scared me, that I've just really wanted to run for the hills, but I forced myself to do. Like going on podcasts or doing massive webinars or doing speaking gigs, or even like when I did my book ages ago and all of that sort of stuff. At the time I was like, I don't want to do it. I've got a box set that I want to watch. That's my go-to. Yeah, you always know when I'm avoiding something, because I will like, I am now going to watch this box set from beginning to end, and that is now my life. So if I feel myself being pulled that way, I know that I need to get off my backside and start getting stuff done and just say yes. It is absolutely where the big learning happens. You might not know how to do it. You might have never done it in your life, but God, you know what? We don't know everything. You can figure it out as you go along. And yes, it might be scary, but you are going to feel like the business afterwards. And it's going to be something that will just make you want to dance around the street, do a massive big happy dance and do a conga round with all your neighbours, because it's going to make you feel that good. Lorraine, you're saying, I changed my mindset this year to start saying yes to things that were a challenge, and that's why that's where you've now got your business. Love it, love it. Claire's saying, it's amazing to see you and imagine that you used to struggle too. And this is why I talk about it. It's really, really important for me to talk about it and be completely transparent and talk about where I was and where my journey, because all I want is for you guys to do exactly the same. And seriously, who am I? If I can do it, if I can do this, then any one of you can absolutely do it too, because I'm just like this normal everyday person with kids in I'm really nothing special. I like nothing at all. But if I can get through all of this too, then you can too. The only way to truly learn is to do it. So yeah, I know, and it's rubbish. It's rubbish, Susan, that the only way, it'd be great to plug a USB stick into your head and go, oh, now I know how to do it. But we just have to go through it. I visualise it, and you might have heard me say this before, I visualise it like walking through a muddy puddle. So imagine you're on this gorgeous sunny walk and it's really beautiful and the birds are singing and the sun's shining and you've got like the best ice lolly or ice cream. You've got a Mr. Whippy, it's a good day. And you're walking along and there's just like you are feeling so amazing, and then you come across this biggest muddy puddle that you've ever seen in your life and you can't get round it. And the only way to get round it is, for a couple of minutes you're going to have to wade through it and get your feet wet, but then it's going to be good again. That's what it's like. That's what just walking through your fear is like. Just for a minute, right? You're going to walk through this muddy puddle and it's going to feel like rubbish. It's going to feel rubbish and your feet are going to get wet and you might even have to wash your trainers when you get to the other side. But you know what? You're going to feel awesome. You're going to be back on track afterwards and it's going to be good. Oh, I'm so pleased, Susan. Oh, that just lights me up. Thank you so much. Right, are we ready? Number 8. This is a biggie for so many. Number 8 is business owners don't outsource enough. Don't outsource enough. Now, if I had £1 for every time I have a conversation with a business owner who is struggling over doing something that is not their superpower, that is taking them all day to sort out, that somebody else could do in a lot less time and probably a hell of a lot better than you, then seriously, I'd be sat in some awesome, amazing hotel having a cocktail right now. So I want to invite you to look into outsourcing, because we've all only got so much time, and we're all only, and right, I'm going to come back to that in a second, Claire. We've only got so much time, and we've only got so much. Our superpower. We've got to think about what our natural superpower is. And there's some things that I'm good at. So I can make a really good cup of tea, but there's some things that I'm not good at. I cannot do like designed stuff for anybody ever. That is just not my superpower. I cannot do that. So if I could spend all day trying to do it, it still looked like tosh at the end of it, and I've wasted a whole day. So the sooner you can start outsourcing, the better. And I would absolutely encourage you to outsource before you are ready, because it's a lot cheaper than what you think. And get yourself somebody, even if it's just like half an hour a month or something, to help you out with things that you are not very good at. Because it's a game changer. I resisted this for the longest time. I seriously, I really resisted it. The voices in my head were saying, the dialogue in my head, rather, say that way. The dialogue in my head was saying things like, yeah, you don't, it's too expensive, and what are you doing, and why are you paying somebody else? It's quicker if you do it myself. And it was that sentence, right? It's quicker if you do it myself. And I could, for most things, yeah, it is quicker. But what am I doing it for when I'm not very good at it. 2, I'm going to have to figure it out. 3, I've got a million other things that I actually need to be doing. And 4, somebody else could do it so much better. Somebody else could do it so much better and quicker. And plus I'm supporting their business too, which is, again, something really important to me. Claire, I should clarify this is because you changed my thinking on this, because I would have spent ages trying, yeah, you would just spend ages trying to learn things and do things yourself. And what's the point in that? There are, and this goes for things around the house too. It doesn't just have to be business stuff. So getting support with things like, I don't know, I'm just going to think of random stuff. Somebody to mow your lawn, or somebody to help you out with, mopping your floors, or something, I don't know, anything that you think that you shouldn't be doing, or that you haven't got time to do because you're struggling to do the things that you really need to do. Look into getting support and outsourcing the task rather. And I promise you, it'll be a lot cheaper than you think. Think about how much your time is worth. And just, I remember I used to get lost in like new systems, and I love trying to figure out new platforms and new systems and stuff. But what on earth for? Yeah, what it was an escape task. It was something to keep me distracted from doing something else. And once I started outsourcing stuff, it's liberating. It's so freeing. Jeanette, DIY, yes. DIY cleaning, yes. Everybody should outsource ironing, yes. I am so with you. All yeses to all of the above. Ours was I remember the first thing that we outsourced around the house was somebody to mow our lawn, because we tried to outsource it to one of the kids. It never went well. It wasn't good. I could tell you a lot of stories. That's another day, but it didn't end well. So we thought, oh, sod it, we're going to just get somebody to come and mow our lawn. Game changer. Absolute game changer. It was one of those things where I thought, why have we not done this sooner? But definitely, just entertain the idea, mull it over, have a think about it, just let it kind of evolve into what you need it to be. But yes, I would definitely encourage outsourcing. Right, we are on number 9. Are you all still with me? What time was it? We're getting on to 12 o'clock. So number 9 is, business owners don't create space in their diary for unexpected things. Now, this is, hold on, things are popping up on my screen. Let me just close things down. This is so important, and it's something that we don't always do. And this is to consciously create space in your diary for things that might just pop up. Now, I like space in my diary. I am not one for anymore. I'm going to say that anymore. I am not one anymore for having a back-to-back diary. I know that when I'm back-to-back, I'm not working at my best. I'm feeling hemmed in. I feel like I just want to clear the decks. So I absolutely consciously every single week, I structure my week into such a day. And if you're interested, we can talk about how I structure my week in a different training, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Just let me know in the chat if that's something that you're interested in. But I structure my day and my week in such a way that I have space in my diary. Now, that space is so important to me because it gives me opportunity to say yes to things that pop up. So if somebody sends me a message and says, oh, can you come and do a training for our group? Have you got some space in your diary? Or can you do anything exciting, right? Can you go and do a webinar for somebody? Or can you, whatever it might be. My mind's gone blank. But exciting stuff that pops up for the unexpected things. I have space to slot that in. I have space to juggle things around in case something happens, like life happens. Like, let's say something like your car breaks down and you need to take it to the garage, right? And that happens, your life happens. So rather than thinking, oh, hang on a minute, if I take the car to the garage, then I'm going to have to cancel this person out, and where am I going to fit them all in, and what am I going to do? You've got space to move things around. Let's pretend that one of the kids get ill. And that happens again. Now I've got space to move it around. It's like having a great game of, I want to say Tetris, but it's not Tetris. Where you can just kind of move your pieces around. That's how I kind of create my diary for the day. Or what if you get ill? What if you get ill? You know, we're not immune to getting ill. What if we get ill? Again, space to move things around. So it also stops you from having the automatic excuse of, I can't do that because I've no time, I'm too busy. When you create space in your day, all of a sudden you have space in your week, rather, you have the ability to say yes to unexpected things and exciting things that pop up that will really help you in your business. So that is something that I want to encourage you to do. Just look at how you're planning your diary for the week. Make sure that you are putting in space for unexpected things, that even just great ideas that you want to kind of do and get involved in. Right, so we are now at number 10. Number 10, which is to get busy on the small stuff. And this is a massive one. This is a huge one. And I see this happening a lot, where we get busy on all the stuff that is easy, it's quick, it's like the low hanging fruit. It's the, I'll phone this person or email that person or clear that thing out, or, you know, so just so you can start crossing things off. So you're getting that dopamine rush of crossing things off your to-do list. So you feel like you've been super productive, but you've not done anything, again, to shift that needle. So this is where, again, I want to invite you to really look at what you are working on throughout the day and whether you're just being busy on the small stuff. Because it's so important that you, again, ensure that you create space in your diary to work on the big things, the things that only you can do, that will actually make a difference to your business, that will get you closer to your goals, and not just ticking things off that absolutely needs to happen. So give me a yes in the chat if this is you, that you get busy on the small stuff first. Louise, yeah, we can talk about the structure of my day. That's no problem. Jeanette, if my diary is too full, I get overwhelmed and I need thinking and learning time. Yeah, me too. So it's important that we have that space. So give me a yes in the chat if you find that you get busy on the small stuff, if this is you. Yes, we have yeses. Yeah, so if this is you, I want to invite you to, every single day when you are working in your business, ask yourself, is this actually going to get me close to my goals? And you know what? Sometimes working on small stuff is fun, right? Because it does make us feel good. It is that few minutes of that rush that we get from crossing stuff off and feeling super productive. But the thing is that it isn't going to get you closer. But if you want to do it, if you feel as though you should be doing it and you can't outsource it, then dedicate all the small stuff a chunk of time in your diary when you are having a bit of a low energy point in your day. So if you think right back to the beginning of this session, we talked about working with our energy. So I leave all of those teeny tiny things for when I'm having a bit of I just need to do something, but I can't, my brain's not working right now. That bit, yeah, just dedicate a chunk of time when you're feeling like you need a bit of I need to do something, but I don't want to think right now. Yes, so definitely, Jeanette. Okay, so we are coming to the end of our session. So it's been pretty much bang on an hour. And so I'm just going to run through these points again, just to summarize. And if you've got any questions, then please feel free to put it in the chat. So 10 ways I see business owners hindering their own success. Number 1, not being specific with their goals. Number 2, not being consistent. Number 3, not being structured in terms of their morning routine. Number 4, spraying rather than focusing. Number 5, to keep switching plans and changing their minds. Number 6, not saying no enough. Number 7 is not saying yes enough. Number 8 is not outsourcing. Number 9 is not creating space in their diary for unexpected things. And number 10 is getting busy on the small stuff. So if you have any questions at all, then let me know. I'd love to know what you thought of this training, and whether you'd like more of this kind of stuff in here. So let me know in the chat whether this kind of ticked a box for you. And I'd also love to know what it is that you're going to take away from today and what you're going to do differently, because otherwise, we need to implement something, because that's where the learning is. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are, whether this is something that you'd like to continue in this group. I'd also love to let you know that at 10 o'clock every morning, I'm creating a new habit that I am going to go live just for a quick chat in my on my business page. So if you're around and you fancy just catching up with me every morning at 10 o'clock in my business page, then that's the place to do it. Okie doke. Right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Oh, Jeanette's launching her business soon. Oh, let me know all about that. I'd love to know what it is and what's going on. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope it was useful. I hope you got something out of it. And I will see you. I'll see you soon, and we'll do something again next time. All right, have a fantastic day. See you later.